Hey everybody. So today we're going to be doing a little inking. I guess you could call it a tutorial of sorts, but I just pulled this out of my sketchbook. Just bought this one last night. This one's Canson Mixed Media, my favorite brand. Alright, so to start this drawing, what I did was I just made a shape, and I just wanted to go with these big eyes, and I wanted tiny horns for this one. I try to work with interesting elements that point in different directions. The symbol for this one is going to be a crescent moon. Anyway, I'll get to the inking. I'm going to start with ballpoint pen. So these eyes are going to be pretty round. See if I can bring it closer. Whoops. So right now my phone is a little out of commission, so I'm using a webcam. Right, I think that's better. It's harder for me to see, but hopefully it's better for you to see. So I want the skin to be real wrinkly, a lot of random hairs. This ear here is coming from behind. Alright, so that's one side of the face done. I'm going to work up and around, working on the little hairs, bouncing back and forth. This skin's going to be real gross looking. So you can see I put in some marks here with pencil just to suggest there's some bone structure underneath, some weird alien-like bone structure. This music is interesting. I had to find some public domain kind of stuff, some free stuff, because I was tired of having to take a long time to edit the videos and put in new music, because YouTube doesn't like that. Even if it's in the background, they'll shut it down. So alright, so we're working around the top edge here. As you can see, I'm starting on the next ear. When I'm drawing, I always will flip it upside down to see how it looks. If you have a mirror, you can also look at it backwards just to see if your eye's messing with you or not. Because sometimes when we look at something for too long, our brain plays tricks on us. Alright, I'm gonna put in some jewelry here. Gonna have some sharp teeth. Not much in the way of lips. Bottom teeth kind of gnarly, mouth slightly open. This part's kind of tricky for some people, this nose area. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make it look like it's been like kind of skinned open a bit, and then he just has nostrils. This is supposed to be dark, eerie music. I'm not sure why it's like this. Alright, here we go. Okay, so this is where we are. I'm gonna work on the neck a little bit now. Alright, next step for this guy, since he's been all ball pointed up, it's going to be some sort of marker. You can use whatever marker you want, but this one is a Kuretake. Basically, I'm going to just variate the line weight, but I'm going to go in and darken some areas and leave some areas lighter, make some contrast, that kind of thing. Oh, this one is dying, so I gotta grab another one. They're pretty cheap. I think they're like $3 a piece, maybe. They come in different sizes. This one's probably dying too. Oh no, we're good. Okay. Save those dyeing markers because you want to use them occasionally for dry brushing and that kind of stuff. So you can see how the line weight really affects things. So over here is where it's just ballpoint pen. Over here is where I go in and I change the line weights around a little bit. Just keeps it interesting. One more lifelike. Not everything is the same thickness as far as the lines. Yeah, so this one's actually dying too, so I gotta grab another one here in a second. Alright, this one should work. I think this is my new one. I don't worry about making mistakes too much. If I mess something up, I just go with it and just fix it a little bit later or incorporate it. They don't sweat it. Every new piece is a new opportunity to explore, to refine, that kind of stuff. So if I, you know, there's still times that I, abandon a drawing, but I try really hard to reclaim as much as I can before I call it quits. Maybe at the end here, I'll pull out one that I just didn't think was working, or if it's not working, I just will come back to it later. You know, I think that's a good thing, just to get some space, separate yourself from it for a little while, and then come back with fresh eyes. All right. Next step on this is going to be to go in with some heavier blacks. So for that, I'll either switch a marker or I'll just go back in with a heavier line here and there, just to bold up certain areas, create shadow shapes, and that kind of thing. Punch up a few different areas. I think I'm going to give this one black horns. I'm just deciding right now. With these sketches, I like to go in with an open mind and let the creature come to life before my eyes. All right, I'm going to be using a pincel pocket brush now. I'm going to use the brush itself to create an interesting texture down here for the collar. I love leafy collars, furry collars, all that kind of stuff. It's pretty evident from what you've seen me post. This one's going to be a fairly simple, just a portrait. Not going to go any lower than that. not going all over the place. Hope it's staying center for you. Alright, next step here is back to the ballpoint pen. We're going to do some fine detailing and then we'll be done. This step usually just involves making sure that different folds in the skin are looking good, making sure that there's little, pimples and marks because they're gross looking, and little hairs. Make sure that the anatomy of some of the parts make a little more sense, even though it's not real anatomy. Making sure that it doesn't look like too fake. You want there to be some overlap. You want there to be, bulges from the underlying anatomy. You want there to be sags in the skin and, places where it isn't symmetrical. Alright, now I'm gonna add just a few long hairs coming down. And some twigs coming off of the bottom. I love twigs. I just like combining nature with these creatures. It gives it a little more mysticism and kind of mythical. Next step, I'm going to just turn it over and see how my line weight's doing, and I might adjust it here and there. So I want there to be a little heavier line here on the bottom of the figure. I'm just going to add some dark spots here and there. Alright, this guy's looking pretty cool. I'm going to adjust the camera so that you can see it at a better angle here. I like the head shape. It's a weird head shape. It's not natural. The horns are kind of weird looking. I love how weird it looks. Overall, the silhouette is kind of triangular, but I want it to be sort of like a five-pointed star in a way. So you get these two lines, these two, and this one. So together, it's creating a shape kind of like this. So I'm always trying to think about the shapes of my drawings and what they might mean and all of that different stuff. Even though it's not a straight line, there's still overall a line that leads in as a focal point to where you want people to look. Everything's pointing up here to the symbol and all that kind of stuff. So that is the tutorial for this month. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, just let me know. For Patreon, I'm thinking about doing a couple of different changes. October is going to be a really busy month, but you guys are going to get access to some Inktober stuff early because I have to get ahead. So, hope you enjoyed it. I'm going to come up with some poetry for this guy, and then I'll post them over on Instagram and over on Patreon. But you guys will have exclusive access to the tutorial. All right, thank you guys so much for your support. Hope you guys have a great Friday.